Breakfast on Red.
With Alana and Robbie.
It's Alana and Robbie, and we're so excited about the UFC 221 happening in Perth this Sunday, the 11th of February. Now, it's the first time anything like this has happened in WA, so it is absolutely massive. And, Lance, we wanted to celebrate by doing a UFC podcast, and we did actually get to speak to some of the superstars of the sport that are fighting on Sunday, so we're so excited.
Oh, God, you're not wrong. Aussie fighter DAMIAN Brown, the Super Samoan Mark Hunt, and the man of the match, Luke ROCKHOLD, who is fighting it out to be the middleweight champion. So we got to speak to all three of them, which is pretty incredible. Good
UFC knowledge there, knowing all about Luke ROCKHOLD.
I really had to learn very quickly. If you'd asked me a week ago, I'd been like, who?
Oh, it is so addictive, actually, when you get into the UFC. That's why we're excited about it. Here's how our chat with Luke ROCKHOLD went down.
Breakfast on Red.
With Alana and Robbie. Californian submission specialist Luke ROCKHOLD is living proof that looks can be deceiving. His laid-back demeanour houses one of the most fearsome competitors in the UFC today. Currently ranked number 2 middleweight fighter in the world, ROCKHOLD is ready to regain the middleweight title that he won back in 2015. This Sunday in Perth, Luke ROCKHOLD has the chance to take back his crown during the UFC 221 main event. He joins Alana and Robbie right now on Breakfast on Red.
Oh, Luke ROCKHOLD, UFC 221 this weekend. Are you pumped, mate?
Pumped as you can possibly be right now. You know, I got a big fight ahead of me, and I'm just ready to go in there and stake my claim.
For sure, man, because you've been the middleweight champion before. What does it mean to you to sort of take the crown back?
I mean, it's everything. Every fight is your biggest fight, you know. Once it's on your doorstep, and you got a guy like Yoel Romero in front of me, and man's a killer. You know, I'm not underestimating him. The guy is he's capable of many things, and you can't take him for granted any step of the way. You know, he fought Whitaker to a very close decision. Whitaker's the only guy to have beat him, and you know, that fight was up in the air. So this is for all the marbles. You know, I go out there and make a statement, and I think it tells who the best in the world is, and that's what I'm here to do.
And what sort of preparation goes into a fight like this? Like, when do you really start, you know, getting into gear, and then mentally as well?
You know, every day it becomes that much more real. You know, I'm starting to feel it more and more today, especially when you start squaring off with your guy. You know, for fight week, and you stand face to face, and you feel that energy. It's all that much more real.
And so it's been a little while since it's been announced that Romero was sort of stepping in the place of Whitaker. Do you prepare differently for different fighters, or is it more about just your game and taking what comes to you?
I'm not a guy with holes in my game. That's why I fare so well. That's why I've lasted so long. And so, you know, I don't have much to hide. I don't have, you know, I'm going to expose everybody I can beat. I can compete and beat anybody in any realm of the game. So with both guys, they're both explosive, powerful guys. Romero's obviously a great wrestler, but I just don't see anybody wanting to fuck with me on the ground. He's gonna find out real quick that he's not gonna last long if he wants to go there. So I envision this fight on the feet. Similar styles, just got to contain them, be sharp, be on the footwork, be composed, and pick these guys off. They're just not on my level.
For sure, man. And with your style of fighting, obviously it's on the ground where you absolutely excel. But before you get to that stage and you're actually on your feet, when it's two southpaws, do you have to sort of adapt your fight style a little bit in order to sort of allow for that, or is it not an issue for you?
Personally, I like it better. You know, a lot of people hate fighting southpaws, even southpaws themselves. I have a diverse game. I can open up southpaws in different ways. I like it. I actually really like it. And, you know, in this matchup, I think it gives me a lot of options, and you'll come to see that. You know, Yoel is methodical and he uses his movement. I'm gonna make him pay on the outside and take that away from him.
And Luke, what's your thoughts on Romero? Do you think you've definitely got him covered?
You know, anything can happen in this game. I'm prepared. I'm as sharp as ever, and I can catch him early. But, you know, I'm expecting a tough fight. This guy's a proven warrior. He's just withstood the test of time. He's fought everybody, and he's done his job real well. And so I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm planning on taking him out and doing whatever I got to do.
Well, everyone is so pumped to see you on Sunday. What about after the fight? Do you get to have a little bit of downtime in Perth, or are you straight back on a plane somewhere else?
I'll spend a little time, maybe Perth, maybe go back to the Gold Coast. So we'll see how it goes. You know, it all depends on how healthy you come out. You know, I kick him in the head and break my foot. I'm not walking right. I want to hang around.
There's no surfing with Mick then.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So you gotta understand this is martial arts at the highest level, and you know you come out, you know, on 2 feet. It doesn't matter. You might not be walking the next day. So this is a brutal game, and you go into it with injuries, and you want to come back. Maybe I just want to rest afterwards. You never know. We'll take it as it comes. I'm just ready to fight.
Well, Luke, we cannot wait to watch you against Joel Romero in UFC 221, the main event. If you haven't got tickets, make sure you check it out on Foxtel. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Breakfast on Red.
With Alana and Robbie.
The Super Samoan Mark Hunt is one of the most feared knockout punchers in the history of UFC. Currently ranked number 5 heavyweight fighter in the world, he has a career record of 13-11 and 1. Not afraid to speak his mind.
I tell him to his face I don't like what he stands for. Like the rest of these guys, I think they're all just cheaters. What they stand for is nothing. They're just cowards.
He's a huge draw card to UFC 221 in Perth, and he joins Breakfast on Red right now.
Oh, the great man, Mark Hunt. How you doing, mate?
Good, thanks. How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, good. Are you pumped to come to Perth for the first ever UFC fight? There's a lot of people wanting to see you.
Yeah, of course I'm pumped. It's you know, being a part of history, it's pretty sad what happened with Robbie, but yeah, nonetheless, it's still going to be a great card. You know, going to come there and wreck some teeth.
With Robbie as well, like, do you have good relationships with other UFC fighters, or do you kind of concentrate on your own game?
I know a few the guys, but you know, Robbie's just moved down the road from my house now. You know, I try to get along with all the guys apart from the guys that I'm competing against, because you know it's I don't like to break bread with anyone. I'm going to have to punch him in the face. So, you know, it's one of those things.
Well, speaking of which, you're taking on Curtis Blades in UFC 221. What can you tell us about him? How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, Curtis Blades, you know, I've got nothing against him. I don't really know him that well. You know, he's made the top 10 for a reason, and that's why he's here. You know, it's a sad thing he's got to fight with me, because, you know, no one's getting past me. I'm going straight to the top after this.
I don't doubt it, mate, at all, because, I mean, the last couple of years for you have been a bit tumultuous. Obviously, you had the whole thing with Brock Lesnar. Like, did that just really make you angry in the end?
Yeah, to be honest, it's not really fair at all. You know, I've dropped blood and sweat and years of my life chasing this dream. It's my second sport. You know, I've become the only man outside of Europe to win, the only man on this side of the world that's actually won the K1 World title. You know, I'm chasing another dream, to be the heavyweight world champ in mixed martial arts. It's another dream of mine, but you know, I seem to keep fighting all these steroid users and these cheaters. I mean, it's just not an even playing field anymore these days. It's you know, they just need to be punished properly. You know, I'm sick of fighting guys that are on the steroids. You know, cheaters like Brock Lesnar and all these freaking scummy dogs aren't worth the even time. You know, they have to cheat to stay at the top end with guys like me, to be above average when they start using gear, because they just can't handle it. They're cowards.
And the worst part is, mate, like when you look at your record and then it comes up as no fight or whatever, when it should have been a win for you. And
you know what's bullshit is getting injured and you know, having a year off without income, and watching the guy you cracked your knuckles on in his face, and he's competing before you. That, you know, it's become a joke. It's just unfair these days. You know, the example we're sending to all these kids is, hey, it's okay to cheat these days. You just got to stick all these steroids and you have to be like these pathetic dogs. You know, the sad thing about it is these guys, I mean, they just can't cut it. I just think they're not martial artists, they're just bums. They're just losers that try to hang with the best fighters in the world. You know, a good example to be a great champion right now is the current heavyweight champion, Stipe Miocic. I mean, he's a clean fighter and he's a hard worker. You know, he's a public servant. He ain't like the rest of these cheaters like Brock Lesnar, you know, John Jones, all these bums. You know, just, it's really annoying because I've, you know, worked so hard to be at the top end, you know, and I'm the oldest fighter, and probably the oldest fighter in the universe.
Hey, mate, with the fight coming up, I'm always interested because when we watch you fight, like, you're obviously going for that knockout, the big punches. How do you train for that?
To be honest, I'm pretty well-rounded at the moment, so I'm not, you know, you might just see the one punch, but it takes a lot to get to that one punch, and to be a mixed martial artist at the top end, you've got to be pretty well-rounded. So, you know, my game at ground and stand-up is pretty good. So the most thing you see about me is just knocking fools out, but that's what I love to do. That's my forte, as you would say.
Well, it is. I've been trying to direct Alana to your YouTube highlights, to be honest with you, and then you can see his forte.
I really need to get up with this all quick, smart. Perth is super pumped to see you, Mark. It is sold out. The atmosphere is going to be electric. Enjoy your time down here because everyone cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys too. So, and I'm looking forward to coming up to Perth and putting on a show for you guys, making hits. So I'll see you guys there. Thanks for having me on your show.
No worries, mate. Look out, Curtis Blades. I'm pumped to see you knock him out.
Cheers, Mark. All the best.
All right, thanks, guys.
Breakfast on Red.
With Alana and Robbie. Aussie fighter Damian Beatdown Brown is a wrestling specialist based out of Brisbane. Formerly an infantry soldier in the Australian Army, Brown is professionally trained in the discipline of Zendo Kai. With a record of 17-11, Brown takes on South Korean Dong-Hoon Kim in the UFC 221 first preliminary lightweight division. Beatdown Brown joins Alana and Robbie right now to talk about Sunday's fights.
Oh, Damian Brown, it is almost time. Are you pumped and set to go for UFC in Perth?
Can't wait, guys. I'm very pumped. I've never been to Perth before.
It's going to be huge, and you're fighting the South Korean Dong-Hoon Kim. What do you know about him?
I know he's Korean. I know he's a judo black belt.
And you know you're going to smash him.
I know that he has the ability to make it a boring fight or an exciting fight. He's had fight of the night in the UFC, and he's had probably one of the most boring fights in the UFC. So, you know, he's coming off 2 wins, so I expect that he'll come and turn it up, in which case his plan will play into my hands, and I'll put on a great Aussie show for the fans.
Beautiful. And how's your body going, mate? Fighting fit?
Always. I look after my body. I change my training up, and, you know, the older I get, the more I train smarter, and, you know, training smarter means you can put in more hours, and that makes you a better martial artist, so I feel amazing.
I'm always interested to know this. Like, how did you get into fighting? What were you doing before that? Did you have just like a normal job?
Yeah, so I did martial arts as a kid for like a decade, and then, you know, I went off, played football and did my thing, joined the military, and I deployed to Afghanistan, and when I came back, I just sort of, you know, I just looked for a bit of an outlet and something to get me back into fitness after some surgery. I'd made a surgery on my ankle. So after that, you know, it was natural for me to go back to some kind of martial arts. So I went to kickboxing, and then I went from kickboxing to jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts. And, you know, the more I progressed, the bigger the goals got. And when the UFC became the goal, I set my sights on it, and it happened. As
you've sort of progressed through your different stages, what have you sort of seen as being the ultimate goal? Like, what would you like to achieve in UFC?
You know, like, well, you know, for me, I started late. I didn't start martial arts again until I was 25. So, you know, I'm 33 now and fighting for, you know, a UFC title or something like that. To start with, I'm in the deepest division in the UFC, if not the deepest division in the world. So to fight your way to a world title in my division, you'd probably need to win like 6 to 8 fights straight.
Yep.
That's hard enough in MMA in general, let alone doing it in the UFC. So I just set my sights on each individual fight, making my career last as long as it can in the UFC, signing new, bigger and better contracts, and just seeing where it takes me. And if that means I win the next 5 because I've focused on each one, then I'll worry about what comes up then.
And how do you sort of prepare in these last few days?
You know, getting a really good sweat up with minimal amount of work is the idea. So sweat more, doing less work. So I keep it very specific. So everything I do, whether it be kind of striking on pads or my movement around with people, like simulating the fight, like sort of sparring, but not with a heavy shot. I just keep it to fight specific, so like 3 to 4 rounds worth of movement, and then the rest is just go for a run or something like that and keep a really good sweat up.
For sure, mate. Well, we wish you all the best on this. It's going to be a massive fight. It was sold out months ago, so you're going to have a huge crowd. It's massive for you, and we really hope that you come out and you have a big win, mate.
Well, I really appreciate the time. Hopefully I can just put on an unreal show for the Aussie fans and for you guys and give you all something to talk about afterwards.
Oh, good on you, Damian. Enjoy your time in Perth as well for your first trip over to the West.
No worries. Thanks for that.
Breakfast on Red.
With Alana and Robbie.